We're live.
We're live again.
What a week. What a week. So the melon felon is official.
And being a dang fool.
The melon felon is official. So the so-called first world countries, so-called, are declining. And we cannot be, Black folks cannot be in denial, right?
True.
So the G7 is made up of
Canada,
the USA.
Well, I was going to get the USA.
Oh, man.
But USA, Canada, the UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan.
And it is failing in comparison to what BRICS is doing today.
We ain't talking about the kind of brick you throw.
No.
Although the melon felon, I'd like to throw some bricks at him.
We're talking about BRICS, that economic alliance. So I remember in business school, I was in business school a long time ago, y'all. But at least it was this century. And I remember them talking about Russia because at that point we thought that they might still be a democracy, right? And I was taught to look at a lot of economic positions holistically.
Mhm.
And so when you look at the economic growth of the G7 countries and you look at the economic growth of the BRICS countries, and you look at who owns the most natural resources, the empires are crumbling, y'all.
Yeah.
The empires are crumbling and the so-called developing nations are surging. So let's talk about it.
All right.
We want to introduce ourselves
We
first?
should introduce
All right.
ourselves first.
Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money because money is the key to freedom. We talk about money, we talk about travel, and we talk about getting the hell up out of the United States of America and retiring or living abroad.
Give yourself some choices.
Right? We help folks who look like us, Black and getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time and maybe even abroad. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, subscribe. Hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we drop a new video or go live. And
give it that thumbs up, y'all.
If you like this kind of information. So, all right, sweetie. So what are we talking about today?
The truth about BRICS and Black folks' economic opportunities.
That's right. That's right. But first, if you're new to our channel, you might not know that back in 2018, Rick and I were getting close to retirement age. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
A couple of $10,000, $10,000, $20,000, that may seem nice, and that's better than the average American, but that ain't enough to retire on, right? So we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Y'all, if we can do it.
You can do it too.
That's right. That's right. So we will say hello to all of y'all who are in the chat. What else are we talking about today?
So we're going to talk about, we're going to explain what BRICS is.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll talk about the goals and the objectives of BRIC.
Okay.
And you'll want to stick around until the end because we will talk about the investment opportunities to research.
That's right. That's right. So we have some specific ETFs that we have looked at that have a low expense ratio that will tap into what BRICS is building, has built, and will, right? Has built, it is building and will build in the future. Let's put it that way. All right. So what is BRICS and why should we care?
So BRICS is an acronym and it stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It was created by was a Goldman Sachs economist.
Oh, was it?
In 2001.
Okay.
He came up with the acronym of it.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I had never heard of that. But basically, it is an economic alliance the same way that the G7 is an economic alliance, right? And so if y'all remember, at one time, it was the G8 and Russia was part of it. Then when I believe it was when Russia started going after Ukraine that they got kicked out of the G8. Now, it might have been before that. I can't remember correctly, but I remember it was the G8, right? And now it is the G7. So as of January 26, 2025, the BRICS group comprises of the following full members and partner countries. So we just mentioned Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa, but all of the other countries,
Egypt,
Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE,
Indonesia,
right? They are the new member countries of BRICS.
And then the partner countries,
right? Like Belarus,
Bolivia,
y'all. Pay attention to Bolivia. Kazakhstan.
I like Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Cuba.
Malaysia.
Thailand.
Uganda.
Uzbekistan.
And Nigeria. Now, it's interesting. We're laughing at the stands, but I remember one of the Republican presidential candidates saying, I don't know about no Uzbekistan or this a stand or that a stand. They don't mean anything to me.
Then you have a rude awakening.
Rude awakening. See, it is the hubris. It is the arrogance of America, the UK, and Western civilization that has dismissed these countries that they call third world countries.
Some of them they call shithole countries.
Right? For all of us, you heard those countries. All of us can blend in to a lot of those countries. Okay? So we do not have to worry about being part of a sinking ship. Y'all don't have to worry about being part of a sinking ship. We were talking about what y'all was supposed to do to make sure that we had a little bit of a reprieve to make sure that America wasn't going to go down the drain. But no, that's not what y'all wanted. That's not what y'all wanted. And some of the folks who get into our comments, not the people who are on our live because y'all are on point, but some of the people who get into our comments are in denial.
Yes.
And that's not a place in Africa. That is not a river in Africa. They're in denial. They are in full flight from reality. And it must be nice. It must be nice down there with like an ostrich with your head down in the sand. But the bottom line is economists who are professors of our so-called elite universities have been sounding the alarm for years.
They've been trying to tell us to wake up.
Right? And we have been talking about this. We have been studying this since 2020, right? It's amazing that the pandemic gave us extra time to do extra research and extra things to enliven our lives and to change our lives. So with that, right after we say hello right quick to some of the folks who are in the community right now, who are live. If you're watching from the future, hey. Let us know where you're logging into and let us know what you know about BRICS. Hope it's great in the future. I hope it's great. So these folks have come together for economic power, financial collaboration, tech exchange, and geopolitical rebalancing. We know anybody who is learned, anybody who is a free thinking Black person knows that America has been going around the globe acting stupid, toppling governments, leading coups. They don't talk about that stuff. But if you read any news from outside of the United States, we know that this is a fact, right? Sometimes they got caught, like when Reagan was trading arms for this or that. I can't remember.
Down in Contra.
Yeah, the Iran-Contra controversy, right? And he was selling arms in South America to lead a coup and then taking that money and doing stuff in Iran. Look, that's just what they got caught doing, okay? Sometimes it's a little bit more subtle than that. So,
yeah. The
members that they have chosen, the members that make up the BRICS, the 5 founding countries, and then the countries that they have added to their membership, and to their partner associations. And I'm assuming that eventually those partners will become full members. They've been very strategic. They have been very strategic. And you have to understand that those nations make up more than, I think, let me see, I got it written down here. They make up more than
35% of our
35.43.
Oh, I forgot. Excuse me, 0.43 of the world's GDP.
Right. The gross domestic product. Okay. So gross domestic product is the stuff, the money that is generated from things that are created within that country, for those of you who have forgotten what GDP is.
And they also represent 55% of the world's population.
Hey there. They also, for GDP, the G7 is only 29.64% of the world GDP. 35.43 versus 29.64. Okay. All right. We will leave you with that. We're going to say hello, and then we'll talk about why these countries are important and strategically what they mean to this economic alliance. And I want you to start thinking about the industries that will be impacted by this, because this will lead you to looking up ETFs, index funds, and individual stock that you want to invest in. Okay. Look, this world that we live in now has been created by white males. That's a fact. That's a fact. What BRICS is doing is in response to what those white males have created. We did not break this shit, and we cannot fix this shit. But what we can do is stand on the sidelines with our popcorn, maybe help some of these African nations. Hello, right? Caribbean nations, maybe they need to be involved as well, right? And take advantage of the opportunities that we see before them. We have been the workhorses of the United States long enough, and it's time for us to gain our own freedom. The United States has already said they do not care about us, that they do not value us. And all I want you to do, I can't remember who it was, but it's one of our members. Oh, I know, it was Mary, Rapper MD, who Googled what would happen if 20% of Americans left the United States. Well, I put that in ChatGPT. I challenge you to do the same thing. Y'all saw the movie A Day Without a Mexican. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. All right, y'all. So the elephant in the room. We thought we were going to have Ashley here this week. She had a family situation where she could not be with us. Hopefully we will be able to catch up with her in the future. But for now, we are going to go ahead with this discussion. Like I said, Rick and I have been looking at this since 2020. And as we started getting ready for Ashley, we started doing a lot of research. And that was just to ask her questions, right? And so now we feel like we've got enough information that we can lead this discussion. And there's always going to be more to learn. But I think what we need to think about is how, especially unless you are a major investor, and what I'm talking about is taking a few 100,000, maybe $1 million, 2 million, and investing it in a certain company. For the majority of us, is talking about what ETF should I buy, what mutual fund should I be buying, et cetera, et cetera. And that is the crux of what we're going to talk about. But first, we want you to think about this, because this will also change how you think about where you might want to live, right? We have talked to people we talked to somebody who's like, oh, I done been to Colombia back in 1992 and there's no way I'm going back there, right? It is a new day. It is a new dawn. It is 2025.
Things are changing.
And they are changing. Right, Pinky? We are so glad that you are here. Hello, Eleanor. Michelle is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Tanya Brooks, self-care and support for caregivers. I love it. Diane. Meriton Martine
Hey.
is in the house. I know you were just talking about her the other day.
Talking about you.
Yeah, Maribel 2024 seems like a new name. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Action is in the house. Hit that like button as you come in. Please, please, please let YouTube know that this is important information. And the majority of the folks who are watching look like us. And so we are telling YouTube who our audience is and who needs this information. And by you hitting that thumbs up, that's going to send it to more folks who look like us. Right, Allison? So we're so happy that you are here. Patricia is here. Glass half full. Ebony Barnes. Hey, hey, hey. Marcus Allen is in the house. James H. There we go. Botad. Okay. Jametta. Karen Louise. Shanora. Tana Rose. Bethany. Peggy. Yakota. Michael. Rapper MD. I was just talking about you. ABX Girl. Thank you, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Y'all know what you're supposed to do. If you have a question or comment that you would like to put on screen, put a Q in front of it. If y'all are talking to each other, then it's all good. All right. So we've already said they've come together.
Yeah. For economic cooperation.
Right.
Financial
collaboration. Right.
Tech exchange. Geopolitical rebalance.
Geopolitical rebalance. And that is so important. All right. So the first one is Brazil. So Brazil is the leading agricultural exporter, particularly in soybeans, beef, coffee, and sugar. Now remember, everybody got to eat. Food insecurity is probably the biggest concern of every major region. Keep that in mind. All right. Mm-hmm. Number two, they have. Go ahead.
Okay. They have an abundant natural resources, including iron ore and crude oil.
Oil. Didn't I hear something about drill, baby, drill? Drill, baby, drill. BRICS produces and exports 50% of the world's oil and natural gas. We need to get off of fossil fuels. However, Brazil has significant renewable energy production, particularly in hydroelectric. Talking about getting off of fossil fuels. Yeah. So why is it important? Why is it important that Brazil is part of this?
Because it's a major player in food security and commodity markets.
Right. Also, they're a key contributor to global environmental efforts. Where's America? Given its stewardship of the Amazon rainforest, right? Y'all know if that thing really disappears, the globe is in trouble. The globe is in trouble because oxygen is produced by our tree canopy.
Forest, yeah.
Right? And so that's why when you see certain cities planting more trees, it's all about the environment. It's not just to look pretty. We need a certain canopy over this globe in order to survive. All right. The next player.
Russia. I know everybody's got their feelings about Russia and stuff like that, but
Russia is not a true democracy. But it's funny. It's funny, and nor is China. But it's funny how all of a sudden they went from enemy to friend, but not enough of a friend. It's like I'm in there, I'm out there, I'm in there, I'm out there. We ain't got time for all of that. The only thing that I care about is how we and people who look like me can gain freedom, financial freedom. That's it. Yeah. Because after that, everything else is secondary. You can get the healthcare you want. You can educate your kids. You can live where you want. You can go as you want. You have choices. And that's what I want. There's nothing more beautiful than seeing Black people who are financially free. Yeah. Nothing. So they're the leading exporter of natural gas and crude oil, which is one of the reasons why Western Europe has been saying, ouch.
Yeah, because someone had the idea that if Europe stopped taking or trading Russian oil and natural gas, that would make the ruble
Go down.
devalue and go down, and Russia wouldn't survive it. Their economy wouldn't survive it. But guess what?
They got all these other countries they're selling it to.
India and China said, "Oh, we'll buy it."
And part of Eastern Europe. They're like, we can't afford to get into y'all squabbles. That's between y'all.
I would have a feeling, I do believe I read somewhere that Europe is rethinking.
I see that they haven't been as much involved in Ukraine as one would think. Now, I feel for the Ukrainian people, but again, we did not break this shit and we cannot fix this shit. White folks need to fix it. The people who broke it need to fix it. So they're a dominant supplier of key minerals like palladium and nickel. Nickel is very much a part of renewable energy.
Yes.
Technology. What else?
Strong military industrial complex and space technology sector.
We know that NASA ain't what it used to be. It could be. It could be. But for some reason, we gave that over to Russia. So, whatever. They're letting the apartheid Nazi take over the space stuff, right? That, I guess that's what they're doing. So we're gonna privatize everything. Don't get me started. All right. Why is it important? Why is it important that Russia's involved?
Energy superpower influencing Europe and Asian energy markets.
We're talking about population, folks. As these people get more economic power individually, they will be consuming more stuff. This is what we forget. We've always thought of them as cheap labor, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo. And, you know, and we are and the United States is the consumer. But they also have strategic geopolitical influence over Eurasia, obviously, because they're right there, right next to China, right? Yep. Unlike, what's her name? What was that chick's name talking about? She could see Russia from her porch or whatever.
Sarah P.
The beginning of the fall of intelligence. Well, no, that was Bush. That was Bush. But she just took it to another level. Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. Number 3, India. India is the world's 5th largest economy. The world's 5th largest economy, right behind California, with a burgeoning middle class, right?
Yeah. Major IT and software service hub.
We knew that. Large producers of pharmaceuticals and generic drugs.
And it's rapidly growing in renewable energy sector.
The United States had such an opportunity to be the leader in renewable energy. We had such an opportunity. But no, we want to be involved in conspiracy theories, and the world is flat, the globe is flat, you know, it's not circular, it's flat, and all this other nonsense that comes when you are so afraid of your well-being that you want to believe in witchcraft and nonsense. Why is it important that India is part of BRICS?
Major destination for foreign direct investments.
Also emerging leader in the green energy and digital infrastructure. So where is the leader of AI going to be?
China.
It ain't going to be in the United States, y'all. Not at the rate we're going. Not at the rate we're going. All right. Now, what I don't want to see is the Terminator. I don't want to see that kind of AI. So hopefully we have learned a lesson from Hollywood, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. We'll see. The next up is
China.
China is the world's 2nd largest economy and the largest exporter. But get this. The United States GDP growth was 2.8%. We said this before, 2.8%. China was 4 point something percent, and India 7 point something percent. Oh, but we've got the best economy in the world. No, we don't. That's a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie, and we've got to stop believing the nonsense. All right, what else? Go ahead.
So, if you guys could tell me, you could put it in chat. What is the number one selling electric vehicle in the world?
I tell you what, it ain't.
Where is it? Where is it manufactured, and what's the name of it?
Whoever
Put it in the chat.
Whoever answers it correctly first will get a free pass to our side hustle challenge. We've got one more spot available for our side hustle challenge. We're talking about creating additional streams of income. The information is in the description below. We have one spot available. If you answer it correctly, the first one, let us know if you want to be in it. If not, we'll go to the second one, and so on and so forth. I don't even know the answer. I think I know who produces it, though. So you see, we've been doing our homework. So world's second largest economy and the largest exporter, dominates global manufacturing supply chains. We knew that. We gave them that in the 70s. We gave them that in the 70s when we said the most important thing for a corporation was to build stockholder wealth. So all of you watching need to be stockholders, because that's the law of the land in the United States. It is not to be able to produce, to give jobs, to create jobs, or any of that stuff. The only reason they exist is to increase stockholder value. Yeah. Number 3.
Leading investor in global infrastructure through the Belt and Road Initiative.
Rapidly advancing in technology, AI, and green energy. So now, why is China important to this whole thing? And they were one of the leaders in this whole conglomerate.
Yeah, it's central to global trade networks and economic integration.
Influential in shaping global financial institutions. And there's no surprise there. There is no surprise there. So I'm going all the way down to the bottom. I'm going all the way down to the bottom. Did you see it?
Who was the first one?
Okay.
I don't know who the first one. Yeah, there it is right there.
Okay, I'll start starring the ones that got it right. Okay.
Did y'all look it up?
Y'all did y'all Google it? Did y'all Google it? I think I know. Okay. Yeah, we said, where is it produced? So you couldn't just say what it was. You had to say where it's
manufactured
and what was the name of it. So, all right. So we got a lot of right answers. Wait. Let's see. Nicole might be the first one. Tia Nicole. Nope. Sean. China, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not a card, baby. A car, not card.
Yeah. No, not a card.
Car. Automobile.
Because
we said totally electronic vehicle. Yep. Neo, China. So Yakota got China. Asian car, and it's electric. Okay, CK, like we on the right track, right? We're on the right track. Yeah, not like a memory card, because I see a couple of NVIDIAs in there.
And you see them all through China and Europe. You see them all through this place, but you don't see them in the United States. Can you tell me why?
Patricia, thank you so much. Y'all know that all of the super chat, all of the donations go to our scholarship fund. Okay, they all go to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, and that is our financial course for late bloomers, because we want to make sure that Black folks have a chance to be financially free. I am marking the ones that have a Q in front of them. And I think I'm going to go right back down. Let's see who was the first one. Who was the first one? Siri. Right. She was the beginning of the end. She was the beginning of the end. All right. So Yokota was the first one to say China.
Did he say the car though?
No, he didn't. China's launching their AI bot training camp of robots literally as we speak.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that information somewhere.
Right? So Rose said China. Not Tesla, that's for doggone sure. Stand for something positive, said BYD, but not the country. Tia said China, but not the car. Summer, the rad life. Y'all are on point because I did not know this. In Valdry, I think that's probably a typo. Tanya, Becca, Lynn said Neo. Huai, Michelle. We saw those. We saw those in Thailand, but that's not an Asian card. It's electronic. So I think Jeanette is the first one. So Jeanette, if you want to participate in our summit, in our challenge, our side hustle challenge, let us know in the chat. Put a Q in front of it. If not, the second person would be, let's see, Sean. The second person would be Sean. And the third person would be Tia. Okay. All right. So in that order, y'all let us know if you want to participate. And I did not expect to do that. But here we go, right? Here we go. So I want to go ahead and go through all the rest of the members, and then we'll take some questions, and then we'll get to the partners. We've got a lot of information, so we're going to go really, really fast tonight. All right. So the next one up is South Africa.
South Africa.
Africa's most industrialized economy and a gateway to the continent. South Africans probably don't like this, but I call South Africa Africa Light. Because English is one of their official languages, because a lot of the folks look like us. There's a lot of mixture going on because of their history. Mm-hmm. But the African folks, the folks who call themselves Black, the folks who call themselves colored, are some of the warmest, kindest people that you will meet on the planet. And I don't want to get misty in here, but I'm just thinking of how we were treated when we were there. And all love, y'all, all love. So some of the stories that we hear about the continent where people are saying, well, you ain't one of us because you don't look like us. And I can't tell what tribe you're from and all of that. And we know tribalism goes on. I did not feel that in South Africa. So number 2.
They're rich in materials, particularly platinum, gold, and diamonds.
Diamonds, my best friend. Significant financial services sector. Okay. And then why is it important that they're a part of this?
Represents Africa in a global multilateral forum.
And plays a key role in regional trade and investments. Number 6 is Egypt. That's very strategic. Egypt is a strategic location controlling the Suez Canal, a critical global trade route. When you realize how much control BRICS has over canals and waterways that are major trade waterways, you're gonna, yeah, it's like that. and so Trump's answer to that was try to rebuy the Panama Canal. Oy vey. All right, number 2.
A major exporter of natural gas and fertilizers.
Remember we talked about food insecurity. Fertilizers. You'll hear that come up again. Mm-hmm. Growing industrial and manufacturing base. And so why is it important? Because
gateway to North Africa and the Middle East.
The next member, Ethiopia. You see, Africa's in the house. Africa is in the house. And it bothered me at first, especially back in 2008, when I saw the amount of investment from China on the continent. But now that they're partnering and they're getting together, I'm a little bit more cool with it, right? Just we all need a seat at the table as equals in this thing. And so since they have decided not to be an empire builder and to really be a partner, this is the future, y'all. So Ethiopia, why are they a part of it?
They're rapidly growing economy with potential in agriculture and renewable energy.
They have a significant labor force and improving infrastructure. And so they're important because it's a hub for Africa's economic and political integration through the African Union. Number 8 is
Iran.
What does Iran have? What does Iran have?
They got a lot of oil and gas reserves.
Right? Growing industrial base despite the sanctions. Despite the sanctions.
Potential in renewable energy and infrastructure development.
So they're important because they are a key player in Middle Eastern geopolitics, politics, and energy markets. And we know that because who came to Palestine's aid?
Iran.
While folks are trying to continue to empire build Israel and not just let people be, right? While folks are closing their eyes to the humanity of people who don't look like them, there's another group of folks who are banding together. Now, y'all know I am not a fan of China because every single time I see Chinese tourists, they are so rude. They are so rude. But I've been hearing that the government has been trying to educate them on how to conduct themselves around POC.
Yeah,
and look, if you, we don't know what it feels like to live in a totally homogenous country where everyone looks like you, right? We don't have that luxury as Black Americans. So, I don't know how it feels not to just be totally ignorant to folks who don't look like us. I don't know. So,
yeah, that would be.
So I'm gonna give them some grace as I invest and make money. Now, number 9 is
the UAE.
No surprise there.
United Arab Emirates.
Right? Major global hub for trade, finance, and tourism.
Yeah. Diversified economy with investments in technology and green energy.
They're a significant re-export hub in the Gulf region. So it is important because they are another bridge between the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. And then last but not least of the membership countries is
Indonesia.
That place where Barack Obama spent some years, in a madrasa, right? Like being turned into a Muslim radical or some nonsense that Fox News used to say back in the day.
His stepdad was from there, correct?
His stepdad is Indonesian, right? Like, remember all that nonsense? Well, Indonesia, Southeast Asia's largest economy with a diverse economic base.
Yep. A major exporter in palm oil, coal, and nickel.
Nickel. We've said nickel 3 times. Yeah. That is a critical element in EV batteries, in electronic vehicle batteries. Nickel.
Yep.
So, number 3.
Strong consumer market with a large and young population.
Significant renewable energy potential, especially geothermal. So, they're important because
central to ASEAN.
Asian. That stands for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, right?
And regional trade dynamics.
And also they're a leader in emerging market initiatives and the digital economy. All right.
Wasn't water, there's something to do with
the waterways, right?
Too?
Exactly. Thank you, babe. Thank you.
I just remember the islands and it's the waterways too that lead to Asia and stuff like that. So,
and because they are a part of BRICS, all those waterways will get you to the West, right? Those waterways get you down to other countries in Southeast Asia, Australia, and to Africa. And BRICS now, as a conglomerate, have control over those waterways. So any kind of sanctions and this and that, look, they don't work anymore. You can only sanction someone when you have power. You can only sanction someone when you have power.
Yeah. When
you are growing at 2.9% and India is growing at 7%, like, I don't need you. Bump that. Like, you don't want my stuff? Fine, I'll go sell it over here. And even though individually we could say the average Indian does not make as much as the average American, it also doesn't cost as much to live there. And they've got a cajillion more people. So I'd rather sell to a cajillion people making $10 an hour than sell to 100,000 people making $30 an hour. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? All right, we'll go to the partner countries in a minute. Let's see what y'all are saying. I've got 19 things starred, and I just saw, let's see. Greta, you are so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Greta.
Thank you, Greta. As the midlife money moves, as you know, all donations go to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial course for late bloomers. All right, so we got the BYDs. Let's undo those. Is it Audi or a German manufactured diamond? Now, why would we say that when we talking about BRICS? Why would we say that when we talking about BRICS?
Germany ain't in that.
Germany is not in that. I left TikTok and joined RedNote, and I'm at peace, and China is more advanced than the USA. There's a lot more places more advanced than the USA. You know, even South Africa in 2008 in some ways was more advanced than the USA. I found it incredible that nearly everyone had a smartphone. And these were people who did not have the same economic resources, which means that the phones were less expensive, right? And so that means they had access to the internet. Everybody had access to the internet through their smartphone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So I was pissed at TikTok when they put up that thing that the melon felon was the reason why they came back.
Wow. I have an opinion on that, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Should you? I decided that I don't think that I want to post anything more on TikTok. Like, if you want to suck up to him, then you're not for me. That's all I got to say. So we joined Fanbase, which is owned by Isaac Hayes'
Isaac Hayes
the third. So his grandson. Yeah.
I thought it was his son.
Okay, son or grandson, I'm not sure. So a Hayes. And so we joined.
He looks just like him.
Does he? So we joined Fanbase, and we and that's kind of like an Instagram-y type place. And we encourage all of you, since Meta has said they don't care about diversity, equity, or inclusion, then we should not be including them. We're still going to be on Facebook for now, but we are looking for other places to go. We have to speak with our dollars. So
we're also on Blue Sky.
We're on Blue Sky. So no more Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. Because there's no way that I'm going to participate in the apartheid kings stuff. There's just no way. So that's what's not going to happen. All right. Let me undo these as I do them. So Brazil has obtaining the farm produce contacts with China and shut out the USA farmers. Africa has the young workforce, right? Exactly. And Western countries are aging. They're old, and people are leaving. China and Japan recently dumped 42% of U.S. Treasury bonds, even though Japan is part of the G7.
Hey, they hold, between the two countries that hold most of America's debt is China and Japan.
But I thought...
So everything we're paying taxes on, our taxes ourselves, a little portion of that they ship it to China and Japan for interest payments. Because I believe
because we don't know how to balance our checkbook. But can you do that? Right? Can you do that? No. These people are out of control. The UK is poor and freezing because of the price of fuel and the lack of fuel. Yeah. Traveling to France and Spain this year. What advice would you have for my cell phone usage? Are there travel apps available? Rona, we ain't talking about that today. We did a video on cell phones, cell phone usage, what you should do, and all of that stuff. So I suggest that you look back like a year or so ago, because it's still relevant, and look at that video. All right. Wi-Fi is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi is everywhere. Like every single restaurant, for the most part, will offer you free Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's the case in America. I haven't been there in a while, but here in Portugal and even in Thailand and every place that we've gone, you can get on Wi-Fi. Have y'all ever been to Namibia? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. But we've got a lot more places to see and a lot more life to live. We'll have drill, baby, drill. Canada is terminating fuel source for the USA.
Yeah, I read that. Cut them off.
We have been sounding the alarm. We have been sounding the alarm on this. We have been sounding the alarm on this for over a year now, y'all. I see 770 folks are watching right now. Hopefully we have close to that in thumbs up. We have been sounding the alarm on what is going on. And so we hope that y'all are listening. Notice how the BRICS nations are starting to overlap the OPEC nations. That part. This is a battle to control natural resources and move away from the use of the US dollar. I'm excited. Correct.
Exactly.
It is. And see, here's the thing. It didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. But when you want to stomp on people and act like there's one pie, and if you get a bigger slice, I got to get a smaller slice. When you start acting that way, then people get pissed off. It did not have to be this way. The hubris, the absolute arrogance of America is astounding, and it still exists. They're still sitting over there. The king has no pants on, and people are acting like it's normal. Global travel, not gospel travel. Sorry for the autocorrect. Okay, CK. All right. What impact will BRICS have on U.S. citizens' global travel? After Brexit, UK folks were kicked out of countries. Well, no, they weren't. The travelers were not kicked out.
Not travelers.
Residents were kicked out.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a difference, right? In the same foreseeable sense, countries are fed up with the USA. I don't see that right now. So the folks who had to leave Portugal were the folks who made Portugal home. And once, the UK was no longer part of the EU. You're not a citizen anymore. You're not a citizen of the EU, so you're not a citizen of Portugal. You got to go, and then you can come back, but you've got to apply.
You have to start your.
They got to do what we got to do,
right?
They got to do what we got to do. Somebody from France can move to Portugal, just like we can move from California to Colorado to New York, right? It's the same kind of thing. The same kind of thing. Once they decided that they did not want to be part of the country club. Hey, paying attention. Thank you, Greta Cobb. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hufflink TV. I learned so much here. Thank you. We appreciate y'all. We do. We really, really do. And we are here because you are here. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to mark these, but we are going to keep it moving because we got a lot more. I'm going to mark these cues that I see and let us know, the folks who got the answer right, if you want to participate in the challenge. As I said, we only have one spot left. And if you would like it, it is yours. We are so excited. We released the information early this morning or last night, my time actually. And we're excited. We are excited. So it has been updated quite a bit since the last challenge. Okay, I want to make sure I don't miss anything, y'all. And so I'm trying to mark all of these. I should have paid attention to where we left off. I went to Ethiopia with Kwesi, who takes groups of diaspora to learn. Oh, I love that. I love that. Y'all are educating each other too. That's what I love about this community. That's what I love about this community, because everyone in here is like each one teach one. And that's what we have to be about. For real though, right? For real. Because we know that we had family members who knew about money. But they didn't share that information. They didn't share that information. Oh, we don't talk about money, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right. So I think I've got them all. How to become a member. So Jeanette, we'll see. Jeanette, you said how to become a member. We don't have a membership for Our Black Utopia. We don't have a membership. It's a nice looking card too. Okay. I think I got them all, the ones that we have. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving because we're already at an hour and we still got a lot more to go. We might have to skip some stuff. I hope not. All right. So where were we at? Now the partnership
countries.
The first country in partnership. So my understanding is the partner countries are on their way to becoming members. Right now they're just partners. But they're still very much a part of, and we're at the summit that they had this year. So first one is
Belarus,
which of course used to be a part of Soviet Union. Industrial economy focused on machinery, IT, and
fertilizers.
Food insecurity, y'all. Fertilizers. Key transit country for energy pipelines connecting Russia and Europe.
Strong agricultural base, particularly in dairy and meat products.
Food. What the melon felon was elected because the eggs were too expensive, right?
Did they go down?
Did they go down? Let us know in the chat. If you're watching from the future, hey, did your eggs go down? I hope they did. Why important? Close economic and political ties with Russia and the Eurasian Economic Union. The Eurasian Economic Union. Had you even heard of that? See how they do not tell us, and they try to act like the universe circles around the United States.
And their growing focus on renewable energy, particularly hydropower. And
no, you're at Bolivia, baby.
What? Oh.
We're strategic location in Eastern Europe. So the next one is Bolivia. Now we go to South America, and this is pretty interesting because I remember reading where the apartheid king, who gave the Nazi salute on January 20th.
You keep throwing me off when you say that.
The apartheid king.
Yeah.
He don't get a name either. He don't get a name. So the apartheid king was talking about trying to do a coup in Bolivia. Bolivia? Now, why would he want to do that? All right. What are they home to?
Home to one of the world's largest lithium reserves.
What is lithium?
Vital for EV revolution.
The world's largest lithium reserve is in Bolivia. And so the apartheid king and the melon felon want to try to do a coup. We've got the United States needs to just sit down somewhere. They're rich in natural gas and minerals like tin and silver. Tin is also used in renewable energies.
Yep. Growing focus on renewable energies.
There you go. Particularly hydropower. And they're important because
key player in South America's lithium triangle with Argentina and Chile.
Important for regional energy trade. Now, Argentina was supposed to be part of BRICS, and they pulled out for some reason, which is interesting because their economy is failing. But they want to be, they consider themselves European. They don't consider themselves Latins. So it's pretty interesting that they pulled out, but whatever. The next member country is
Kazakhstan.
Largest economy in Central Asia, driven by oil, natural gas, and uranium exports.
Rich in minerals like rare earth elements and coppers.
Strategic location on the Belt and Road Initiative route. And so why is this important?
A bridge between Europe and Asia.
Plays a key role in Eurasian integration and energy supply chains. Now, the next one, I think we've been sleeping them, but they were smart. They were
real smart.
Right?
Cuba.
Known as Cuba in the United States. Yeah. Strong in healthcare. We already knew that. Biotechnology. We already knew that. And medical exports. We already knew that. If any of you watched Michael Moore's documentary about healthcare, y'all already knew that Cuba was on point when it came to healthcare. What else?
Significant potential for renewable energy, especially solar and wind.
Wind? But the birds, it's killing the birds.
It's killing birds. It's killing 5 or 10 birds every year, something like that. More birds die by crashing into buildings than they do by
the windmills from the windmill farms. So Cuba is also known for tourism and sugar production, and they are major contributors to that. And so it is important that Cuba is a part of this. Why?
Because symbolic leader of developing nations in multilateral forums.
And they are a key player in Latin America political and economic alliances. We are the only country that does not do stuff with Cuba. Like, we're one of the only countries. When you look at the map, basically the rest of the world is still doing work with Cuba today.
And now Cuba ain't got to worry about U.S. sanctions. They ain't got to worry about that.
USA, PUSA, right?
We could trade to
basically the rest of the world.
Yeah.
The rest of the world, right? And this is the mistake. When the United States started transferring all of those high-paying union jobs to all of these other countries, they built other people's working and middle class. So now the people who were in poverty are in working class, and the people who are working class are now middle class. And so there's a whole bunch of consumers out there that need to eat, that want to buy stuff, that want to learn stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. Had the USA kept those jobs in the USA, we might not be having this conversation right now.
Maybe not.
We might not be having this conversation right now, but no, it's all about the bottom line. Screw the people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, cool. Malaysia is next on the list, and we will be there in 2026.
Yep, they're a major exporter of palm oil, rubber, and electronics.
Strong industrial and manufacturing base, especially semiconductors.
Thriving financial and Islamic bank sector.
So why are they important?
They're key players in Asian and global trade networks.
You remember ASEAN is that acronym. So the Asia Southeast Asian Alliance, right? They're also a strategic location in the Malacca Strait, another waterway.
Malacca Strait waterway, yeah.
A major trade route. So next on the list, I thought the car came from Thailand. Thailand is known, okay, I'm not going to skip ahead. Go ahead.
Thailand is the leading exporter of rice, seafood, and electronics.
Strong tourism sector, we know because we was there, contributing significantly to the GDP.
Growing automotive and electronics manufacturing hub.
As a matter of fact, they are known to be the Detroit of Southeast Asia, y'all.
Yeah.
Why are they important?
They're central to ASEAN economic integration.
And plays a significant role in the global supply chain. We're back to Africa.
Uganda.
I say Uganda because I take Spanish and Portuguese.
I say Uganda.
That's how Americans say it. They're growing oil and gas sector with recent discoveries.
Major agriculture producer, particularly coffee, tea, and fish.
Okay, food. The thing that is going to control is water and food. Water and food. Got to be aware of the countries that don't allow, well, if it's a desert, that's one thing, but the countries that don't allow you to collect rainwater. Right? We need water and food to live. Rich in natural resources like gold and cobalt. We've seen that a lot of these countries have gold, diamonds. Why is this important? As they start getting away from the US dollar being the standard, there has to be something. They're going back to backing currency
gold
with natural resources. Okay, natural resources. It might not be gold, but natural resources in general. And you see that they control the majority of the natural resources on the planet. They're a key player in East African economic integration.
A potential energy hub for the region.
We've got 2 more to go. Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is rich in natural gas, gold, and cotton. Here we go.
Emerging industrial base with a focus on textiles and manufacturing.
Strategic location on the ancient Silk Road and Belt and Road Initiative routes. All right. And so these are trade routes that have been there, for a millennium. So why is Uzbekistan?
They play a vital role in Central Asia's connectivity and trade.
That's right. Key energy and logistics hub for Eurasia. And then last but not least,
this is one of the new ones.
The newest one to join the BRICS partnership is
Nigeria.
The largest economy in Africa, driven by oil and gas imports.
Significant agriculture producer, especially in cocoa and cassava.
Yeah, cassava. Growing technology and fintech sectors, all right, centered in Lagos. Obviously, with all of two things. How many times have we seen that our information in the United States has been compromised? Have you heard of any of that here? Have we read that in any of the newspapers? Where somebody broke in to the Social Security office and got everybody's information, right? And so when we talk about these natural resources, and we also talk about how they are used in cybersecurity, technology, right? Y'all was mentioning NVIDIA, thinking of the memory cards and all of this stuff, blockchain technology, all of that stuff takes natural resources to create. I wish we could find a way for it not to, but for now it does. And so Nigeria is a leader in fintech sectors centered in Lagos. They're an important leading voice for African and global economic and political discussions.
Yeah.
They're also a key player in the African continental free trade area. All right. So those are the countries. This is why it's important. We're going to quickly go through their goals. And I don't think we're going to go through every single one of these, but just the main things that they're doing. So
key goals and purposes of BRICS.
Yeah. Why is this important? What are they trying to do? What are their goals? What are their purposes? So the first one is economic cooperation, which is what the G7 is all about, right? Foster trade and investment among their member countries, right?
Yeah. Promotes sustainability and excuse me.
You need a drink?
Development and inclusion, economic growth.
And yes, reduce dependence.
I don't know, I'm joking.
Here we go. Reduced dependence on traditional Western-led institutions like the IMF and World Bank by creating an alternative mechanisms. For instance, the BRICS New Development Bank. The BRICS New Development Bank. Y'all, it has begun. We are behind the 8 ball. They are involved in a financial collaboration, strengthening financial ties to reduce vulnerability to global economic shocks, right?
Explore alternatives to the US dollar in international trade and transactions to reduce reliance on Western financial systems. They tired of us, y'all. They tired of the US.
And the UK and Western Europe acting like they are the watchdogs, but especially the US and the UK, right? Yes, we do live in Lisbon, Portugal. They are not part of the G7. The EU is part of the G7 in general, but Portugal is not. And, they also want to have some global influence. They want to advocate for reforms in global governance institutions and this is one of the main reasons why they came together in the first place, like the United Nations, the IMF, the World Bank, to give more representation and power to developing countries.
And present a unified stance on critical global issues such as climate change, security, and trade policy.
The notion that climate change is not a thing is back to that witchcraft nonsense, right? It's just magic, like the world's flat. And right. And so if everyone else is investing in trying to turn around what we have done to Mother Earth, except for the United States will find itself financially bankrupt. It just will. So they also came together for technological and cultural exchange to promote innovation and share technology and to enhance competitiveness as a group. And then, of course, some soft things like fostering cultural and educational exchanges and stuff like that.
Strengthen ties
Yeah.
amongst the people in a number of countries.
But number 5 was really interesting. Geopolitical balance. They want to serve as a counterbalance to the influence of Western-led alliances like
the G7.
Address global challenges from a perspective that prioritizes developing countries' interest, which the United States has not. So their key initiatives was that bank, the new development bank, contingent reserve arrangement, a framework to provide support during financial crisis, and annual BRICS summits. These are high-level meetings where leaders are going to discuss their strategies and goals going forward as a community, as a group. Now, we're going to tell you where to invest. But before we tell you that, we're going to see what you guys are talking about. And then we're going to talk about some ETFs and things like that. All right. And then we're going to let you go. All right. Okay. Looks like I've got them all. Okay. We look, if y'all are off topic, disabled and retired while Portugal, please. Thinking of 30-day exploration trip. We've done a lot of videos on why Portugal. But in a nutshell, we blend in. It feels like home. The Portuguese people are very kind. It's affordable, and it is geographically situated close to a lot of other places that we want to travel to, because that we're all about travel. We love to travel. We love to experience new cultures and things like that. And it's just easier from here. Is this our forever place? I don't know. But this is where we're living now, and we absolutely love living in Lisbon, Portugal, and yeah. So, all right. Okay, I'm not sure who Burkina Faso is, Becca. I'm not sure. What is your handle on Fanbase and Blue Sky? I can't find you. Oh, we're Our Black Utopia. Our Black Utopia, Greta. Well, you know what? We'll add it. Our at. It's just, but yeah, if you do Our Black Utopia, we only have one video on Fanbase and maybe 2 or 3 posts on Blue Sky. This is very new, like the past 3 weeks. But we've been getting ready for the Side Hustle Challenge, so we've kind of been neglecting social media a little bit. Sorry about that. How safe is free Wi-Fi? Just use a VPN.
Pretty good VPN, yeah.
Use a VPN. Isn't BRICS starting their own global currency that will trump USA currency as a global basis? They're talking.
I hadn't seen anything about them starting their own global currency. They were using local currencies for the different countries and stuff still, but
yeah, I heard them kind of talking about that, but I think the main thing is to have an alternative to the World Bank. I think that's what it is. Okay, excuse me, y'all. All right. USA farmer have been keeping the seeds from African farmers. Reason why we have seedless grapes, seedless oranges. Yep, someone is keeping the seeds from the rest of the world. Yeah, I've heard that before. I have heard that before. And one of the things that I can say about here in Portugal and in Mexico, the produce has seeds, y'all. The things that are supposed to have seeds have seeds.
Have seeds, huh? Yeah.
They have seeds. When we buy a watermelon, we got to spit out the seeds like we did when we were a kid. Same with oranges and grapes and everything else. Why can't I unstar that? There we go. On other side note, Laura Bellerin Cereza, a Spanish politician in the EU, told Musk, Zuckerberg, and company, "You can always take your Nazi salute and your masculine energy and go the hell back home."
Yeah, I saw that.
You gotta send me the clip just so I can get a chuckle. May have to reconsider my move to Panama since they use US dollar. Thoughts about countries to relocate. Here's the issue right now, Rapper MD. we earn in US dollar. So Panama has a lower cost of living. I don't know that you need to rethink that necessarily, not today. I think the biggest thing is to stay ahead of the inflation curve, right? If Panama uses US dollar and you're earning in US dollar, that's different than us, where we're earning in US dollar and yet we're paying our bills in euros, right? And euro is stronger than the dollar. That's where we have an issue. Like, we would be better off in Panama not that but in some regard, we'd be better off in Panama, because at least we wouldn't have to deal with a fluctuation in the strength of the dollar relative to the currency that we're paying our bills in.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't take Panama off the list today. Should it be on the list 10 years from now? We'll see. Maybe they'll change their currency. Maybe they'll join BRICS. Fan base is great. Fan base is great. I will join. I left Facebook and IG. I'm not mad at you, Becca. I'm not mad at you. We've been having our WhatsApp groups have been talking about this. We have been talking about this. TikTok equals distraction. It does. That algorithm is on point. Boy, I'll turn around and an hour and a half has passed and I'm like, oh, dang, how did I do that? On the side note, Anders, the Danish MEP, made it clear to Trump this week that Greenland isn't for sale.
It's not for sale.
And told him to
F off. Yeah, and then they tried to say that they were mad at him and stuff like that, but he said, what? The Mellon fellow can say anything about anybody, but we can't say anything about him. So he wasn't worried about it.
Isn't BRICS allowing their members to trade in their own currency? Yes, I think I read that somewhere.
Yes.
Today, yes.
That's today. That's what I was saying.
And so
they hadn't changed it yet to a single currency.
Right. And so what I get from this is recognizing the humanity, recognizing the individual cultures of all of these countries, and not trying to swallow them up into a China, a Russia, or India empire.
Right.
All right. BRICS is like the Montgomery bus boycotts on steroids. Hey, now, I like that analogy. Look, some things are going to come out of our portfolio, and some things will come out of our portfolio and our investment portfolio, and some things will be added. So it's interesting because Manifest Investing, which is one of the investment nonprofit club type things that I am involved with, they've always had countries or investments on companies that are BRICS owned, that are owned by, or headquartered in a BRICS country. And I've always been skittish, and because of what they've done, right? How they have talked about all of those other countries, right? I've always been skittish. I'm not skittish anymore. And you will see, y'all. All right. So yes. The list alone got me packing. I'm not playing stuck on stupid. That's all I'm saying. Look, these are some strategic choices that they made. When you think about all of the elements that are necessary for modern life, they've got them covered. They do not need the United States. They do not need Western Europe nor the UK. They do not need them. Don't you think the Chinese people and USA white folks behave similarly due to their isolation geographically and mentally? Yes and no. Towards us, perhaps. Towards each other, I don't know. Because white folks in America, like rich white folks, treat poor white folks like crap, right? And I'm not sure that they do that in China. I'm not saying that they do. I'm not saying that they don't. I simply just do not know. It's a very closed culture. And so unless you've been there, unless you've lived there, I couldn't say. I couldn't say. In other words, do they love their own more than white folks love their own, right? Will countries stop accepting us as expats as the melon felon adds tariffs since they won't take their immigrants back? For example, Colombia. Colombia spelled with two O's, baby. Don't worry about it, because in our first video, we spelled it wrong too. And still ain't corrected it. And still haven't corrected it.
That's probably where she got that from.
Probably. It's probably our fault. Sorry, Jewel, on demand. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, because think about it. Like if you're stealing, quote unquote, stealing America's aging middle class, as and not even aging, because young folks are going to, but if you're stealing our middle class and potential middle class, future middle class, with some of these younger people who are moving to Thailand and places like that's a boon for these countries. I don't think other countries necessarily blame us for the stupid crap that the government does, right? And so I had to check myself today as I was talking to our youngest son, that I kind of lumped people in based upon what their government was doing. And I had to say, you know what, I'm wrong, because I don't want to be judged by what the melon felon does. Like, I didn't vote for his ass, right? Like, I don't want to be judged by that. So I don't get a sense. I get a sense of, come on, y'all, come on, bring all of that Black brilliance. Come on, right? We know Black folks are the cultural powerhouse of the globe. We know that. And it's time for us to recognize our power and take control.
Yeah.
Take control. Let me do that. Trump will be trying to get the Suez Canal because he is a moron. 3, 2, 1. Ah, there he goes. Iran and Russia have nukes. Yes, ma'am, they do. Yes, ma'am, they do. Do Ethiopians socialize with American Black folks more in their homeland than they do in the U.S.?
I've never been to Ethiopia.
I've never been to Ethiopia as well, and that Ethiopia never comes up on our list of places to move. Okay, it's going to take a while before it's on my list. That's for sure. Now, the Eritreans and Ethiopians that live in Colorado, we have a lot, are cool. They are cool. They view themselves as Black Americans, as African Americans. But I mostly deal with first generation Ethiopians whose parents came to America, and Eritreans whose parents came to America. So but even some of the people that I know that were first generation were cool. So I've never experienced that, Anthony. And so Minnesota has the largest Ethiopian community outside of Ethiopia. So if anybody is watching and is from Minnesota, what's your take on that? I'd be interested to hear. When I was in Minnesota a couple of times for, business crap back in the day, where I was going, saw a lot of Ethiopians, and there was a smile and a nod. Now, maybe it's because some of them think I'm Ethiopian. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. But you worked with a lot of Ethiopians and Eritreans.
And everyone that saw you or met you thought you swore up and down you're Ethiopian.
Right, but how did they treat you?
Oh,
like a brother.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have that experience, Anthony. Africans, but we do have that experience with some Africans. But that has not been my experience with East Africans. Okay, Africans, China, and Russia never colonized us. Well, you spelled Africa with a K. Afrikaners did in South Africa. No, I know we rushed to Russia in the 50s and 60s and stuff. China, probably not, but there probably were some African countries that did have slaves. Rick and Halisi, have you heard about what's going on in?
No.
Oh, so you were.
That's what I was
He was trying to look up. Yeah, no, we haven't, Teddy. GAC, Konguzu, and Toyota Collab seen it in the Caribbean. Oh, you're talking about the cars, ABX girl. So that was not the right answer, but interesting. Panama joining BRICS to shut down 47? And they should. They really should, but I haven't seen them. I've looked at all of the folks who have asked. Venezuela has asked. Panama has not asked yet. And then there were some other countries in Eastern Europe and in Asia that have asked. And they're going to put them through whatever they put them through to see if they're to be a part of it.
Did Vietnam ask?
Could be.
I thought I saw somewhere where Vietnam was actually one of the partners.
Yeah, no, not yet. Not from. I went to every BRICS website by the BRIC founders, and Vietnam wasn't on any of those lists. Because you can't always believe what Google pulls up, y'all. The United States is no longer the financial powerhouse as it used to be. It has been on the decline for years. Yes, China is growing at a larger percentage financially, and the U.S. is declining. Exactly. The GDP for the United States is 2 point something. The GDP for China is 4 point something. There you go. It's statistics. It's just facts. South Africa, gold and diamonds, platinum are strategic. You're absolutely right, Becca. All right. What's going to happen to expat opportunities as country refuses to take immigrants back from the U.S.? Yeah, I think this is a duplicate, Joel. Yeah, I think we're fine for now. But that's a reason to get another passport. And that's one of the reasons why we live in Portugal. We want an EU passport. And we're looking at other places that we might want to get a passport from as well. We're also looking for a third country where we can get legal residency. So right now we have legal residency in Portugal. We have legal residency in Mexico, and we're looking for a third country. As far as Western Europe is concerned and the EU, Portugal was the fastest route to a passport. And it still is going to take about 7 years, 5 years until you can apply, and then 2 more years or so to go through the bureaucracy and all of that stuff. So France and Spain, you can't apply until 10 years, I believe. And so, so that's one of the reasons why we're here. But peace of mind and safety, as a female, you can walk from the bus, from the metro at night and not feel threatened in 99% of the neighborhoods. So, So Jeanette, I don't know what you mean by member. We don't have a membership on this channel. We're thinking about it, but I don't know. Did you receive my message? If you sent it via WhatsApp, I haven't looked, Greta. But you got my phone number. You know how to reach me. We don't see them in the USA because of tariffs. If they were sold, or you're talking about the cars, they were sold in the USA, the auto industry. Yep, with tank.
That's exactly why.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's get to the money. Shoot, what was that last one? When was that one? Let me see. Go back to live. I'm going to start there. Okay, we'll start there. All right. I just want to know where we left off as far as the questions go. All right. Investing in emerging markets. As I said, we are a member of Better Investing, which is a nonprofit organization that basically started the club investing movement. A spinoff of Better Investing is Manifest Investing, and they have weekly meetings where they talk about the stocks that manifest. I don't know how to describe it, but basically, they are investing virtual dollars. They have created a portfolio, so it's basically just a learning experiment. But because they analyze the companies like they would analyze them if they were investing in them, you learn a lot, right? And so basically there's a competition, and every year they try to beat the market. The goal is to have a return of 15 to 22% when the average market is going up by 12%. And they do that by investing in, mid-level companies that have yet to hockey stick, have yet to have that extreme growth. So if you get in here right before the extreme growth, then you can see, when that is coming, then you can see the potential to make a lot of money a lot more quickly than you do in a conservative investment like a mutual fund or an index fund. Okay. And so I say that to say that if you want to learn about investing, we are talking about that and Beyond the Bling all of the time. We have monthly group coaching, but also we encourage folks to become members of Better Investing, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So stock markets, many BRIC countries have large and growing stock markets. U.S. investors can invest directly in companies listed on these markets. So I'm not going to talk about individual companies, because if you are not a savvy investor, then investing in individual companies sometimes is more risky than investing in a mutual fund. And so we're going to talk about 4 ETFs. And an ETF is basically an index fund that is traded daily. So it is a product that has a lot of different companies in it. For those of you who are new, a lot of different companies in it, which means you have some diversity within that one investment. Okay. And so exchange traded funds focused on BRIC markets. The first one, and I looked all of these up in Fidelity, right? And all of them had an expense ratio less than 1%. Some were like 0.72, 0.75%, some of them 0.5%, some of them 1/4%, like that. All right. So the first one is?
The ETFs are BFK.
Baby,
What?
You can't do that. You can't do that. Okay, so
oh, she said the first one. That's the first one.
Yeah, but it's BKF.
Oh, BKF.
so when you mix up stuff with some things, it's okay. But if you want to look this up on the stock market, you can't find it. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I love you. So it's BKF.
BKF.
All right, go ahead.
I don't know. Now you got me flustered. This EFT offers broad exposure to securities from Brazil, India, and China, focusing on large and mid-sized companies within these markets.
All right. So that ETF is called BKF. Write that down. BKF, and do your research. All right. We are not financial advisors. So we're not telling you to invest in any of these. We are giving you some place to start to do your homework. All right. We are financial educators, not advisors. We're not licensed.
Okay.
All right. The next one is EWZ. EWZ as in zebra. This fund tracks an index of large cap companies and mid-cap companies listed on the B3 exchange in Brazil, providing targeted exposure to the Brazilian market, which is one of the largest markets in South America. The next one is
INDA. INDA.
D as in dog.
Focusing on the top 85% of firms in Indian securities market. This ETF offers investors access to a broad range of Indian companies.
We said India's GDP is growing at 7-point-something%, y'all. 7-point-something%. So, it's funny because you talk to the average American and all they can think about is the Indian accent that's on the other side of the phone when they call to get help for something, right? In the middle of the night. They need help with their computer, or this, that, and the other. It's India's economy is thriving. It is thriving, and it's so much bigger than just call centers. So that's IND as in dog A. The last one is MSCI. M as in Mary, S as in Sam, C as in cat, I as in integration. Targeting the South African market, this ETF captures 85% of the publicly available market, excluding small cap companies, okay, or smaller companies. So we just gave you 4 ETFs to start your research. That's BKF, EWZ, INDA, and MSCI. Lastly, if you want to invest in commodities, we just talked about all of the commodities. What is a commodity? Okay, commodity, unlike a car, a commodity is something that comes out of the ground. It's something that has to do with a natural resource.
Natural resources.
Right. So I suppose bacon, pork bellies is a commodity. Oranges are a commodity, right? Like y'all saw Trading Places, right? So oil, gas, metals, agricultural goods, right? American can invest in commodities or commodity related companies such as mining or energy firms operating in the BRICS region. So consider future contracts or commodity ETFs tied to those resources that BRIC nations export heavily, like oil from Russia or iron and ore from Brazil. Currency strategies. We've been talking about this. Forex trading. Forex trading. BRICS nations may promote de-dollarization by trading in their local currencies. Investors can speculate or hedge using foreign exchange markets. I don't know enough about that and local currency bonds to feel comfortable, but investing in commodities, everybody got to eat, right? We still are fossil fuel dependent all over the globe, right? I understand that. I understand investing in companies, but currency right now, I need to do more research before I feel comfortable. Right. And then emerging technologies like AI and stuff like that. There are venture capital and private equity firms that are investing in fintech, green energy.
U.S. investors.
Yeah, U.S. investors can target these sectors through venture capital, private equity, but public companies driving innovation. There are public companies driving innovation in these areas. And I think I want to leave it at that. BRIC currency backs with discussion around potential BRIC currency or alternative reserve currency. Americans could monitor opportunities to gain exposure to these currency baskets or align investments with its potential impact on global trade. I think for starters, we should stick to investing in ETFs, index funds, and commodities of companies that are housed in BRIC nations. We also need to monitor their infrastructure building. Infrastructure building in the United States is probably going to be on the decline unless the melon felon does something that he said he wasn't going to do, because he wants to privatize all of that, right? Our bridges, our roads, and all of that, and our electrical grid, right? Why did Texas electrical grid go kaput? Because they're not investing. They're not investing. And so as we see more investments in infrastructure in these nations, time for me to put them back on the list as a potential place to move. Because look, I can't have the Wi-Fi going down every other day. I'm not about that life. I am not about that life. But there is also potential to watch which companies are leading the charge in building and girding up the infrastructures in these countries. What are those companies? Okay, so this is where your research begins. And that's what we have for you today when it comes to divesting from the US and investing in emerging economies. And I hate to call them emerging economies because these economies have emerged.
Right.
They're alternate economies. I'll put it that way. All right. We've got a few more questions and then we will let you go. If you found this information interesting, if you think this was helpful, please, please, please. We know that a lot of you have donated to our scholarship fund, and we really, really appreciate it. But give us a thumbs up. One of the ways that you can help this channel is to give it a thumbs up and to share this information. Don't forget Guyana, Teddy says. And to share this information with your friends and family. All right, so we'll take this last batch of questions and then we will let you go. A. Lee, you've got these 3 red question marks. I'm assuming that's your cue.
That's his cue.
But sometimes it looks like you're talking to somebody else, or maybe it's somebody else who's using those red ones too. Okay, we're going to get these last ones going. Mellon Felon, he wasn't playing. He hit the ground running. First thing, Civil Rights Amendment, gone. Second thing, deportation. Let's go. Right? They're like, how many Americans have been arrested already? Like by ICE. It's just like these people. It is crazy. It is crazy. I did not think I would see the day that we would do such stupid things. I just didn't. And, there was a time when we had a great program to make sure that immigrants had an opportunity to come to the United States legally to work but not necessarily to live there full time. And we decided we didn't want to do that no more. Why? Why? Because if they're here legally, that means you've got to pay them minimum wage. See how they roll? They try to act like they're all against this when they know good and well the reason why they canceled those programs is because they wanted to exploit those people. That's what they wanted to do. And that's what they've been doing. All right? That's what they've been doing. All right. I thought I was keeping up with these a little bit better, but obviously I was not. If you have any last questions, y'all, let's get them in because we are not going to go for 3 hours tonight. It's not going to be that type of party. Jeez Louise, there's a lot of questions in here. It's like I scroll every other one. Okay, there we go.
It's about 2 hours more questions.
No. No, sir. No, sir. We're not doing that. Okay. All right, y'all. Lady, I'm just joining. How will I be impacted financially if countries join BRICS? Will the dollar collapse? Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's what we're talking about. That is exactly what we are talking about. And you definitely want to go back after we're finished and watch the beginning when we talk about the strategic alliance that has been created. And you will see why it is a threat to what Western media has been telling you, the lies that they've been telling you, or just not mentioning it, acting like it doesn't exist, right? Like just doing this, right? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I've caught up. Totally awesome. Greta. Okay, got them all. 53 questions. Okay, we can go fast. Disabled and retired while Portugal. Okay, we answered that. I'm concerned about the geopolitical ramifications of Trump being in office. Do you think this could affect people who want to leave the US? Yes, I hope it isn't a silly question. Michael, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about the fact that he can keep people in the United States. When he starts to see that his slave labor is leaving, right? Because in my opinion, the goal is to re-enslave us through the prison system. Right? Why are all the GOP Congress people so heavily invested in private prisons? So yes, get your passport. The time to leave is now. I don't think that it's going to be like, okay, everybody's stuck for the foreseeable future. But what they can do is defund the State Department, the people who approve passports and stuff. So instead of it taking 2 months to get your passport, it now takes a year to get your passport, right? So we're not saying you can't leave. We're not saying you can't travel.
It can cause delays.
It just caused huge delays. He can do wink, wink, nod, nod with ambassadors and say, you know what, only approve 10% of the visas that come in.
Yeah, or cut the staff.
So no one can...
State Department.
Right? No one can say that he's stopping, right? Just like we know there are a lot of laws that were specifically designed to hurt Black people, yet we are never named, right? Easier to create community on Telegram. Can you write that down, Telegram? Thank you, Greta. $10 for a dozen eggs in Bay Area. No way. No way. Are you kidding me right now? $10 for some eggs? Apartheid king also trying to influence UK and Germany.
Yep.
How's that going?
Well, Germany is concerned and looking at it, keeping an eye on it.
Well, Germany is going further right anyway. Eggs are high because of major bird flu outbreak, and the melon felon has ordered the CDC to stop all reporting, warning, and notifications.
I heard that was
I heard about
a
that.
distraction.
So, well, if it doesn't exist, then there's nothing for him to fix. All these people dying, I don't know. I don't know why they're dying. Just throw some bleach on it, right? I bought 18 organic eggs at Costco 2 weeks ago, just under 8 or 9. Okay, that's not bad. $4. Well, I remember paying like $3 to $4 for the 18 thing of eggs. And we used to buy organic too. Don't know if I can even get any now or what they will cost if I can. Really? It's gotten that bad? So I don't know. What Bolivia, lithium was used in manic depressive drugs. Oh, those two may want to secure their medication supply. Right? Talking about the melon felon and the apartheid king. Oh my gosh. Cuba sent doctors to Italy during COVID. See? How many negative things do we hear about Cuba? How many positive things do we hear about Cuba? Don't believe the hype, y'all. This is why Biden was trying to get started a rail line to counteract some of the stuff we're talking about, probably. But, FBA culture, unless it can be privatized, ain't nobody going to vote for it on the other side. And Democrats are so willy-nilly, wishy-washy, weak-willed, milly-mouth. FBA culture in the USA seems to be distancing themselves from the African Black diaspora. With the increased number of African nations joining BRICS, will this affect? I don't know what FBA is. Do you? Mm-hmm. Hi, Paul. We don't know what FBA is. Let us know. Another consequence of this shift, a lot of the world is far more educated on global issues than the average US citizen. That part. The book app surprising so many is an example. I don't know what the book app is. Thank you, Nichelle. What is a good country to open a bank account in case the U.S. economy tanks? Okay, so we did a video on that, Ailey. About 3 weeks ago, we talked about the different nations. It's called Divest from the U.S. So watch the Divest from the U.S. video, and we talk about where to put your money. You should not have all of your assets in one country, okay? And especially a country that does not treat you well. So you can start by opening a bank account someplace else and having some of your cash someplace else. That's one thing that we can do. We're looking at having real estate holding in another or some other countries as well. So that's something that you can do. But yeah, we did do a video on that, so you'll want to watch that. And we talked about how you can invest in BRICS. So you can't invest in BRICS, right? You invest in companies that are housed, that are headquartered in BRIC countries. That's what we do, Allison. Okay. Do they treat people who are Black Americans the same way as Americans in general? No. I have not been treated like crap anywhere else in the world as bad as I've been treated in the country of my birth, Mark. Have you? No. Not by cops, right? Not by just the average person. Here in Portugal, people just leave us alone. They're just minding their own business, cops included. Like, we don't have Karens asking us why we sitting here. We don't have women clutching their purses when Rick is walking by them or in the elevator with them. That does not exist here. We don't have that. I didn't experience it in Malaysia. In Thailand. I haven't experienced it in Mexico. I haven't experienced it in any of the other countries that we've been to. Nothing like we're treated in America. I have not.
What was the question for the FBA thing? There's a lot of things that are FBA.
Yeah, he's got to tell us what FBA. It was about. I don't know. He'll tell us. Nigeria is the Hollywood of Africa. They make a lot of movies. Yeah, they do.
A lot of movies.
Yeah, they do. And because we're here in Portugal, they come up on our Netflix. We need part 2 of this. Thank you, Greta. Thank you so much for the research and presentation. You are so welcome. And thank you for always, always, always supporting our Black Utopia and our community. And yes, we are still going to interview Ashley. We'll probably have to record it. And so that may be our part 2. Hey, Allison, witches believe in nature. Though when I say witchcraft, I mean like magic, right? Like if you still think the world is flat, right? If you think that, if you're into that QAnon crap, if you think January 6th was a love fest, you into some witchcraft, not witchcraft in its traditional sense, as in folks who are respectful of Mother Earth and all of that, and in channeling and metaphysics. No, not that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. This kind of magic. Somebody's just gonna come fix it. Magic. How will this affect other currencies and the economic power of those currencies? Trying to understand what the tangible currency shift will be and how to prepare. And this is why we don't want to have all of our assets in one country. So this is a place to start. Now you are aware, right? Now is the time to continue. This is the foundation. We have laid the foundation for the research that you have to do. And as we learn, we will definitely share it. I think the biggest thing is making sure that, one, that we have money in other countries, which means you have it in other currencies. And we did a video on that, divest from the US, and other tangible assets like real estate, but also that we are investing in companies that are housed in BRIC nations. I think that's what we can do for now. As far as currency trading and things like that, I don't think we're there yet. Or I don't understand enough to give you any kind of suggestions because I haven't done it. But I am researching it. And so in the divest from the US, we talk about the countries that have a strong financial sector, strong banking system, backed by a stable government that has laws in place to protect the financial market and industry. So for the most part, all of the countries that we named have the equivalent of an FEC that's going to ensure some part of your deposit. Okay. Yeah. So those are the countries that we listed as strong financial countries that you can feel comfortable putting some money in. And this is, from the research that we have done from people who know much more than we do. Aren't BRICS countries the biggest polluters? I don't know, CK. I don't know. I know that they're all into renewable energy. I know China was a big polluter. Thailand has a lot of pollution. But I don't, and some people feel it. I didn't feel it. Did you? I didn't like in LA, when it gets smoggy and you're out in the valley, the deep valley, it would feel like there was a lump in my chest because there was so much air pollution when I was a kid. I don't feel that. And when I say a kid, like I'm talking about the 80s. I don't feel that. I did not feel that in Thailand. So I don't know. This leaves me feeling hopeless since I cannot yet expatriate. Don't feel hopeless. No. This was supposed to light a fire under you, okay? And you may be closer to expatriating than you think you are, okay? It is a lot. It is tedious, but it's not as hard as you think, and you don't need as much money as you think you need. Seriously. So the first thing for the folks who are like, oh, hell, we did a video on all of the sites and things. One, we've got the side hustle challenge coming up. You can replace your income. And here's the thing, folks, you don't need to be making $70, $80, $90, $100,000 a year to live in a lot of these places. Rick and I live off of $2,700 a month here in Portugal. $2,700 a month. Our rent is $1,300. Our utilities is like $120, $140 on a bad month when it's really cold, $120 or so, and then another 50 or so for our cell phone. Boom, done. Okay. Eggs are still €2 and some change per dozen. You can still get apples and stuff for like 50 and 60 cents a pound. So you just don't need as much money, which means you don't have to work as hard. We've done a ton of videos on the cost of living in different places, a ton of videos. You would be surprised on how much you need to live in another country, Jewel. So I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to be hopeful, not hopeless, okay? Because you are here, that means you have the brains to get this thing done. Because only smart people watch our Black Utopia. This is why China and Russia are partnering with Africa. Yep. Rapper MD, we need a part 2 or perhaps Saturday masterclass. Now, did you want me to put that up, Greta? I suspect that the chaos of the USA is a catalyst to countries joining BRICS. No.
Maybe a little bit.
I think it is the hubris, the bullying, and all of that. The fact
not
that
wanting to be a part of that,
right, and the fact that we've come into so many countries and toppled their governments only to leave their citizens in a worse position than they were before, right? I think they're just sick and tired of us meddling in their lives and not making their lives better, but actually making them worse. You know, the USA does crap to aid the USA. And when I say to aid the USA, that doesn't mean me and you. That means the oligarchs, right? Now, because all of these countries that we listed, even though some of them just joined this year, they were on the block last year, right? They were trying to go through the process for a minute now. So, could be part of it, but I think people are just sick and tired of being bullied. That's what I think. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I came late. Was Mexico on the list? Oh, no. Mexico is not part of BRICS. Canada is not part of BRICS. They're part of NAFTA. It's Bolivia, Brazil are the only South American countries. Yeah. So it's an African country.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what Teddy's talking about.
Really? I thought I knew every single African country, Teddy. School me. Came in late. Well, okay, I answered that. Yeah, money has been going down against euros since Monday. Oh, shit. Did I move that money? I think I did. I hope I did. Breathe. Seedless watermelon, etc., are genetically modified. Right. A lot of that crap is against the law here in the EU. Will you eventually, your Facebook group, go to fan base? I literally only took my Facebook account off of hiatus, bro, to join your group. Oh, thank you. Fan base is more like an IG.
Yeah.
Right. It's not, like they don't have, or I haven't seen yet, like fan-based groups, private groups, and things like that. So for right now, we're going to stick there for the foreseeable future. But if I find someplace, then yeah, I will move, and y'all can move with us. A scientist told me that a company I won't name in the U.S. has a monopoly on seeds that are engineered to be one-time use only. I've heard that. I've heard that in documentaries. Mr. Visitson wasn't giving any fucks about, that must be the Dutch guy, about what anyone thought about what he said. Yeah.
No, he didn't care.
I wouldn't either. You talking all this crap about everybody else. Can you recommend any book about BRICS? I'd like to learn more. No, Monica. If anybody can help Monica, if you know of any books that are about BRICS, our research was on YouTube from, documentaries, news shows, etc. And then reading online from different newspapers and things like that, what they're doing. And then also going to the BRICS part of their government websites. That's where we got the information from. FBA culture in the US seems to be distant. Yeah, what's that FBA culture? Google that. I'm going to leave that. I'll leave it starred. Well, that's true, Becca. Why, if you're in South Africa and you're buying something from Nigeria, why would you have to buy it in US dollars? And you don't necessarily. It was oil. It was oil that had to be bought with US dollars, not anything. I wonder if some countries may consider taking in some Americans who feel threatened, Black Americans who moved to France during the Renaissance time period. Like, we're refugees, right, ABX girl? That would be nice, because we are. What's the name of the investment club you're in? It's not a club. It is an organization that has clubs. So I listen in on the Georgia investment club, but the overarching organization is called Better Investing. And then the spinoff is called Manifest Investing. I have started investing in some of my funds into international index funds. I wanted to have some exposure. Very good, Greta. Very good. Yes. I'm on RedNote, a Chinese app to replace TikTok. Oh, even though TikTok is Chinese as well. RedNote. Okay. We'll look that up. It seems very friendly. So the orange melon, melon felon gonna take us, tell us it's a security risk. Damn nonsense. They wanted to get the T and put it on TikTok and put it on the stock market. It's all a security risk. Like I was saying earlier, the United States has had more security breaches than I've heard of over here since we've been over here. That's for sure. And when something happens over here, let me tell you, that WhatsApp group, our WhatsApp groups are on it. They are on it. And so I have not heard of any major security breaches here. And as far as them stealing our data, they already got it. They already have it. Why do I walk up to customs and they say, hello, Miss Vincent? I ain't giving them no passport yet. How you know who I am? They know who we are. My date out is 2/19, think German, 1936, Hungary, 2010, and Cuba. Yep, Hitler pardoned his goons as well. Ooh, I forgot about that. It feels incredibly eerie when I get calls from my Jewish friends saying this is familiar. That part. Y'all, we have been sounding the alarm. And it breaks my heart that folks who look like us are just now waking up. It really breaks my heart because we could be in a different position right now. January 6th was my wake-up call. Excuse me, January 6th. I don't know about y'all, but that was my wake-up call. I was like, okay, y'all done lost your damn mind. I'm looking at an insurrection, and I knew that if those were Black people pissed off about something, some mass, not deportation, but prison portation, right? Like if we storm the Capitol saying no more, everybody be dead. Everybody be dead. China is not increasing. China's population is declining. Their economy will have a problem in 10 years. I don't believe that. Totally awesome. I do not believe that. As far as their economy, I know that their population is declining because they were mandating that people could only have one kid. That's over. They got a clue that was the wrong incentive for what they were trying to do. They should have done a tax thing. People are taxed more when you have more kids, right? They don't have enough females, but they are doing things economically and geopolitically that is going to put them in a favorable position. And we cannot, let's keep an eye on it, but we cannot be ignorant of that and in denial of that, right? Just because we have grown up thinking and we've been told decade after decade, you're going to be working for the Chinese, you're going to be working for the Japanese, blah, 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 whoop-de-woo, and it never happened, doesn't mean it can't. Why an additional passport? Residencies will be enough? Your thoughts? Because if I want to denounce American citizenship, I need to be a citizen of somewhere. So that's a major reason. I might want to denounce. I don't know what they're doing. So today, I'm not denouncing because I can't, because I don't have another passport. But yeah, that's one reason. Just saw the story on VOA about what's happening in Burkina Faso. Okay, Voice of America. I'll have to look at that. There's so much, and sometimes we have to protect our peace, right? We're getting ready for the Side Hustle Challenge. Y'all didn't. I'll look at the chat after this if you let us know and I missed it that you want to participate. The people that I said won the little contest, if you're still watching, you can send us an email at hello@ourblackutopia.com. I'll look back to remember who the first one was. And then, and if she's not interested, the second and the third, if you are interested. Not, we do have one spot left. That information is in the description below. The materials have already dropped for the pre-work in week 1. We have our first group coaching next Saturday. History has a way of repeating itself. The energy surrounding all of this with Chucky in charge is a damn horror show. Ain't waiting on no one to take the wheel. Any minute he could say, we can't leave. He has all 3 branches of government. All 3. So somebody, some black person got in Rashida Dow's comments talking about Vance 2028 with a brown, the strong arm thingy, from the emojis. I want to say, Negro, please, you gonna be you gonna be re-enslaved. They're going to expand reasons to arrest people and then get you in there, and you're going to be fighting fires and doing this and that. You're going to be free labor, getting $1 an hour. I don't have a Fidelity account. Are the comparable ETFs with a brokerage firm? Those were iShares, small I shares. So they should be on Schwab and just about anywhere. Okay, Jametta? Yeah. Do you have any advice on a trustworthy source of where you would purchase gold? Hey, Jay Harris. My cousin is a gold dealer. And if you want to send us an email, I will send the email to him. And he is the best person that I trust, I know. And he's been investing in gold for 20 years. He owns a gold store. And so, yeah, that's my best thing. So hello@ourblackutopia.com. Put, want to purchase gold in the Ray line so that I see it, and I will forward it to him and he'll get in touch with you. Okay. So I don't want to steer you wrong. What Biden did concerning the migrants was wrong. There were too many migrants coming into the country. What the melon felon did before was wrong as well. Putting kids in cages was wrong. Totally awesome. So, sometimes we overcorrect. And thank you, Dee. Thank you. All donations go to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, our financial education course for late bloomers. So thank you so much. But yeah, totally awesome. Sometimes we overcorrect and we go from splitting up families, and now there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids that they cannot find that will never get back to their families. That was wrong. If they wanted to fix this, like I said, when I was a kid, there was a legal way, an easy legal way for migrants to come into the country, make money, and then go back home, right? They lived temporarily in the United States, and then they went back home. And then they would come back for seasonal work, this, that, and the other. That's what we had that when I was a kid. The reason they stopped it, in my belief, is because they no longer wanted to pay them minimum wage. They wanted to exploit them. You've got to remember, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. And you don't want those jobs anyway. You don't want those jobs. So the average immigrant, documented or undocumented, understands, especially undocumented immigrants, they're not there. The majority of them are not doing crime or anything. They want to be below the radar so that they don't get kicked out and sent back to their war-torn country that is maybe Guatemala Honduras is still kind of iffy and having some issues, etc. Right? Venezuela, Lord have mercy, right? So, I am not going to make immigrants the boogeyman. The boogeyman are the oligarchs, period, the end. Period, the end. They're the boogeymans because they're the ones who don't want to pay people a living wage. And if they pay the immigrants at least minimum wage, then their profits would go down. All right. And we're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. And I think that's a good place to leave it because so often we bought into American exceptionalism. America is not exceptional. America is a typical empire, and empires fall. And they fall because they forget who they are, they forget humanity, and they treat people like crap. There is no reason on God's green earth that a Black American should want to stay in the United States unless you like being abused. If you do not like being abused, if you recognize that your country, your home country, is treating you like crap, there is a better life outside of America. There is. And because of the foundational Black American, okay. All you new acronyms. America does not deserve your Black brilliance. It does not. It does not. And I can't see it will ever appreciate our humanity. If you like being policed by every other white person out there, then stay. If you believe in American exceptionalism, then stay. If you want to have a life of ease, be at peace, not have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up when you pass a cop, right? If you want to sit in a Starbucks forever and not have anybody ask you to leave, if you want to have a picnic in the park and not have the police called on you, if you want to walk in any neighborhood without having a bunch of white folks follow you, asking you, what are you doing in this neighborhood? Leave. We're gone. We're not on here talking about this because we're gone. And I will leave it at that. Totally awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate your donation very, very much. We love you guys. Every single time one of you talks about, I'm out, I'm going to Panama, I'm going to Colombia, I'm coming to Portugal, I'm going to South Africa. It brings us joy because we know that 9 times out of 10, you are going to have a better life than you had in the Melon Felons America. And with that, we love you and we will see you on Thursday. Bye.